Alrighty, y'all. So I'm going to just be recording this quick little tutorial for you guys on how to do your FK forward and backward solve. You should have already set up the control curves on your character. It should be right here. Just name it whatever your character's name is. In my case, mine's called Pantyman, FK, and this should be your control rig. I'm going to make a duplicate just for the demo really quick. And I'm going to go ahead and double click on here. So as you can see, we have our forward solve and backward solve. Just make sure you compile. And we're just gonna be remaking this for you guys' thing, because I don't think it goes over the video in the demo video that he recorded. So we're gonna go ahead and delete this. I'm gonna go ahead and just compile it really quick. I'll just delete this layer just in case, because I've done this a million times, but sometimes I forget. So we could just look back at this really quick. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click into the graph and I'm gonna search for forward solve right there. And then basically we're gonna make an item array that we see here. And you can see them too in the details tab over here. If I make them bigger, they will all show up here. And do you see how it says index 0 through whatever the heck this is, 39? It needs to be in the same order, but it shouldn't matter too much. You're gonna worry more about the bone because the control codes are already in order. So with that said, let's go back to our forward solve. I'm gonna go ahead and select from my root bone all the way down to my last one, which is the ball for the right foot. And I'm just doing that by holding shift. I'm sure you guys know. And then we're just gonna click off of it and deselect using control. So I'm gonna click off all of these end bones. And yeah, if you do mess up, you do have to just like reselect them because yeah, it'll get messed up. That's why my leg was going crazy in my other character. So I'm also gonna deselect the head. Yes. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and left click drag into my graph. And then I am going to say create item array. And look at this beautiful long list. Basically, to minimize, we're gonna go boop because we don't want to look at all that. And then from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the same thing. Select all your CCs, and these are already in order for you, so you don't even need to worry. And then left click drag onto your graph, and then say create item array. Yep, and then again, we're just gonna go ahead and minimize this. And then, like I said, if you click on it, you see it over here in your details tab. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna leave this here. So in the forward solve, the item array goes first for the bones, and then the control rig will go second. And as you can see here, it's basically the same thing for the backward solve, except you're gonna look up backward solve, of course, and you're gonna switch these two places. So we're gonna go ahead and just go here and right click, search for each. Boop. Pop that into execute. Pop this into array. If you need to unclick the nose, you can just alt click and then it'll unclick. So that one's all good. And then for this item array, we are going to look up at. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to click the index going from for each into the at. And then for the element here, we are going to look for get transform. Boop. And then we actually need from up here. So whatever, I believe in the other demo, it goes over where you're going to have like your main root, whether it's the root or the pelvis. I think when you're doing your IK chains, I chose the root. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the root bone. I'm going to drag it over here and I'm going to say set bone. And then from here, I'm going to go to transform and put it into value. And then I'm going to go execute to execute and then element to item. And from there, it should be good. Right now, obviously I have the backward solve set up, but now you can kind of rotate and you should see your CCs moving like with your rig now. If you hit Control G, it'll bring it back to where you needed it, okay? So you don't have to hit like backspace or Control Z and then like something gets all messed up. So don't worry about that. Okay, so for the same thing, we're gonna do for, we're gonna do for our backward solve. Again, like I said, I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna right click on here and I'm gonna look for a backward solve. So like that, and then because we already made the arrays, we can just go ahead and copy paste. like I said, in the backward solve, we're going to do control first, the CCs first. And then we're going to go ahead and do the bone second. So I like to kind of leave it like that. And then for here, again, I'm just going to look up for each. Oops, I can type that correctly. Gonna go ahead and execute that. I'm gonna slap this array in here, and always remember you can just check it on the side. It says control, so we're looking for control curves. For the bones on this one, take it out, look for at. Perfect, go to element and take this out, and then you could look for get transform. Perfect, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go from index to like this, and then again we're gonna go back up to the root bone. Well, we already have it here, so we can just copy it really quick. Copy paste. Do this here. I apologize if you can hear the sirens in the background. Put this here. Transform to value, so orange to orange, and then execute to execute, and then element to element, or to item, and then we're gonna compile. And that should be it. Yeah, and everything should work all good. So just don't forget to compile and save. And then just FYI, just remember the FK, it works for just for why can't I think of the name right now? Rotational stuff. So yeah, but that's it. Pretty easy. Okay, bye.